Two fantastic awards for several years now. Ohio Farmer Magazine has presented Master Farmer of the Year awards at this conference, and we're delighted to have that partnership with them. The editor is Jennifer Keel of Ohio Farmer, and she's going to make those presentations now. So we're glad. Let's welcome from Ohio Farmer Magazine, Jennifer Keel.
Good morning. I'd also like to welcome Nicole Heslop from Brownfield Ag News. We partnered with Brownfield Ag News this year to bring you videos. We had PowerPoints last year, so we're pleased to add that this year. As Randall said, I'm Jennifer Keel. I'm the editor for Ohio Farmer. Many of you know that I took over for Tim White. Probably many of you recognize that name about a year and a half ago. I want to first welcome you and then also tell you a little bit about the Master Farmer program. The Master Farmer Award recognizes outstanding farm management, innovation, conservation, and leadership. Honorees demonstrate how to farm more efficiently, effectively, environmentally, and economically. The award is named the same year that it's given because it acknowledges a lifetime of achievement and not a single year. This year's honorees are very highly successful. They operate and manage their farms with a high level of proficiency and focus on sustainability. The winners who will be featured in the April issue of Ohio Farmer were nominated by their peers. They will receive a plaque from Ohio Farmer Magazine, and this year Carhartt is recognizing the honorees with donated jackets. Before we move on, I want to just recognize last year's winners. I know that Jan Lehman is here, and also Dave Brandt. I'm not sure if he's here right now, but thank you for joining us, and congratulations as well. And all the other previous Master Farmer winners, if they're in the audience.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Nicole Heslop with Brownfield Ag News. I'm actually based in Michigan, and Andrew Flynn is our new farm broadcaster here in Ohio. So it's a pleasure to be with you. And the two gentlemen we're going to learn about this morning, I think, are an exemplary example of a master farmer, very genuine and honest. And it is an award nominated by your peers. So if you have a dad, a brother, an uncle, someone that's in your farming operation, you think this would be a good way to honor them and recognize them for their hard work, you might want to think about doing that in the future. So first, we'd like to recognize Mark Guess as a 2017 Master Farmer. With his wife Connie, as well as grandsons Phil and Brent and son-in-law Rock, Mark farms 8,600 acres in a 19-mile radius, primarily in Greene County. Bill Richards, who nominated Mark for the award, says Mark is a quiet guy and innovator who really absorbs what goes around him. He describes himself as a man of impeccable integrity and an outstanding farmer. The startup farmer has transitioned to meet the times. Mark first farmed with his brothers Steve and Tom, but later branched out on his own. In addition to crops, the farm was once fed dairy, hogs, and cattle, but later focused on row crops. The need for diversity during the 1980s led to producing processing tomatoes and an array of fresh market vegetables, which were directly marketed to grocers. Soybean ground is chiseled, while about half of the 4,000 corn acres is no-till. Intensive grid sampling allows for variable rate nutrient application, and numerous waterways have been instilled around the farm. He's taught students from around the world good farming practices. He served in many leadership positions and has been widely awarded within the industry. Mark and Connie see future farmers in the making as they have 10 grandchildren and 10 great-grandchildren, with another great expected this summer. We're going to watch Mark's video now.
I'm Mark Guess. I'm honored to be here today talking about our family farm operation, which includes my wife Connie, my two grandsons Phil and Brent Guess, and my son-in-law Rocky Kirshner. We've been farming since 1954. In the year 1960, my brother joined me, and we farmed together then until the year 2000 under Guess Brothers Farms. We had to have a name for the new venture. Our motto had always been, on our little cards, we always said, our business is growing. You know, so we grow stuff. We sit in the lawyer's office and got to have a name for this. I got to get your, whatever it is, the filings that they got to do and all that stuff. I says, well, let's see. So I says, well, we're a growing company. We grow. We're a company. We just call it GrowCo. So now we're known as GrowCo Family Farms. I've been asked lots of times by people, or even some of these stories we've been in, you know, what do you contribute your success to? You know what I tell them? I tell them that I didn't come from a farm family, didn't have a farm background. And to me, that was a big advantage that I had, because I wasn't tied to any of the old principles. There were 6 of us, 3 boys and 3 girls. And so we had a barn full of 4-H projects. I was the oldest of the family. When I graduated in 1954, my dad said to me, he said, I'll tell you what, he said, I'll send you to college or I'll buy you a new tractor. And guess what? Didn't get to college. And it was an H farm hall with breaking plows and some cultivators. And I think it cost like $2,200. New, this is new. And that, you know, that probably was about the cost of college too at that time, 1954. And so my college is, I call it the College of Hard Knocks. That's what I attended. My wife, Connie, oh, she's been great. We had cooperation. If it made sense, we did it. And she would, you know, never question my motives or anything. And she did the bookkeeping in the early years. But Connie did a lot of the work in payroll and raised 4 kids.
He slowly developed that vegetable business until it was a big vegetable business. He's a master and a marketer and a salesman, and he ended up having hundreds of workers, and family operation really prospered.
I don't consider myself a master farmer. We're just, you know, we're a nice family farm operation, and I wish somebody else was here to take it, but I mean, you know, the honor, but it's not to be. We've been very blessed with this farming thing. It made us a lot of money. We've got a lot of equity in land, and I think anybody that wants to farm, if they got the will to farm, they can go do it. Thank you. Thank you very much. This is truly an honor to be recognized for this award. First of all, I'd like to thank the selection committee for choosing me for this award. Next, I'd like to really thank Bill Richards for nominating me. I have known Bill for 50 years, and he's one of the finest men I know. Also, thanks to the Ohio Farmer magazine for sponsoring this award, Brownfield Ag News for the wonderful video, and Callhart for the jacket. It is wonderful to be recognized for doing something I love and dedicated my life to. I am grateful to have such a wonderful wife, Connie, and supportive family here today. In 1926, when the award was founded, one of the criteria of the Master Farmer was to recognize good farming, clear thinking, and right living. I feel very fortunate to be included among past winners of this award. I think I speak for all of us when I say conservation farming is important for generations to come and is essential for a prosperous future. I'm truly honored. Thank you again on behalf of my family. Thank you.
Next, I'd like to recognize Alan Thompson of Springfield as a 2017 Master Farmer. Alan and his wife Teresa farm corn and soybeans with sons Brian and Rourke. They have built a family farm that spans across Clark, Madison, Fayette, Greene, and Champaign counties and includes 4,800 acres of owned and rented ground. Bill Richards, also nominated Alan, describes him as a solid farmer with a solid farm family. Bill says it's the kind of farmer that's going to be successful in today's competitive market because he's expanding yet sound financially. He says Alan is a farmer that everyone in the neighborhood looks up to. In 1992, the farm converted to 100% no-till corn and soybeans. In 2011, the farm began experimenting with cover crops, and for this year, 1,500 acres were planted in cover crops. Alan is also strip tilling with phosphorus and planting corn over the top. He's put in literally millions of feet of drainage and thousands of feet of waterways. Alan meticulously markets his 1.65 million bushels of grain storage and has embraced technology. He says he looks at farming as a continuous education. He doesn't characterize himself as a master farmer, but merely as someone who tries to grab all of the knowledge he can and from as many places as he can and apply it to his own farm. Let's watch Alan's video.
Hi, I'm Alan Thompson from Springfield, and my wife Teresa and I live south of Springfield in Clark County. We have 5 children, Samantha, Jennifer, Taylor, Brian, and Rourke, and our 2 sons, Brian and Rourke, farm with us. All 5 of the kids have their own crop as part of the farm. We work together, and we farm in Clark, Madison, Fayette, Greene, and Champaign County. My ancestors were all farmers, and my dad farmed in Madison and Clark County. I went on my own when I was 25 years old and have farmed on my own and ever since until the kids came along. We got married in 1995. She has done every role there is on the farm. She's a very smart person as a sounding board on all of our business decisions. I guess you would say jack of all trades, but whatever needs to be done. The only thing we've ever done is raise corn and soybeans, and the related jobs to that, like field drainage, and we've built grain storage, and the only thing we've ever concentrated on was how to survive raising corn and soybeans and do that better or more efficiently. We can raise a bushel of corn cheaper by using conservation or no tillage, or a bushel of soybeans, less machinery costs. That's been the main idea. You know, I'm all for the principles of no-till. I'm all for conservation, but it has to pay. And the economics was the driver for us in it. About all technology, even though as a frugal guy, I hated the idea of the expense, but anything we've ever done has paid off. And oldest son Brian, when he started farming, he bought a full-blown guidance system on a tractor. It cost about $25,000, and I thought he was nuts, but we had him on 4 more the next year, you know. And technology has been our friend, I think, on the farm. Our focus has always been, what does it take to survive in the long run? We never care about hitting anything but singles. We don't want to strike out, you know, and we just want to just keep moving forward slowly and build a firm foundation under it.
Alan's a very solid farmer, head of the farm family, the kind of a farmer that's going to be successful in today's competitive market, expanding but yet sound financially, and really is a farmer that everybody in the neighborhood looks up to.
We have 10 grandkids. We have a step-granddaughter that's a sophomore at Bowling Green, and then the other 9 are ages 10 to 3 months old. We love them grandkids. They're around all the time. Teresa babysits a lot. We always have them out in the machinery, and they just like the farm. And the boys are, I'll be surprised if they're not farmers, because that's their main interest. I don't really believe in legacy. I think it's individual performance will dictate success. We've got kids, we got grandkids, they love to farm, they want to be around it. If they're committed to it, they'll succeed at it. And they'll if they're committed and they try hard and they think about it a lot, they'll succeed regardless of any help from us. You have to be frugal, dedicated, and committed, and I think you have to sacrifice for 20 years to get a foothold in the business or more, but if you don't love it, then you shouldn't do it. Well, thank you. I'm honored and humbled to accept this award, and I want to thank the Ohio Farmer. The Ohio Farmer's been around our house since I was a little kid. Since I could read, I've read it from cover to cover. So we we really appreciate this from the Ohio Farmer. I want to thank Bill Richards, who's our nominator. Bill is a longtime friend and a state leader in agriculture as well as a national leader. And the magazines affectionately call him the grandfather of no-till, so I always tease him about that. But I want to thank my wife, Teresa, and our 5 kids, Samantha, Jennifer, Taylor, Brian, and Rourke, and 4 of them are here. Daughter Jennifer lives in North Carolina and couldn't make it, but kids have always been heavily involved in the farm, and they've supported the farm and been invested in it. You know how it is when you're farming. Everything revolves around the crop dates. So weddings and family dinners and everything gets, postponed to work with the farming. And my family's always been very supportive of that. I was fortunate enough to have really good parents, Roger and Ramona Thompson, both real active in the farm community. And my dad was a innovator in farming and very successful. He always had a thirst for improvement. And my parents were good teachers. They encouraged interest in farming, and they gave responsibility. So, I never had a boss. Dad would always say, take these 2 guys and these 3 tractors and go do this. And I was 12 years old at the time. I didn't think anything about it, but he gave responsibility. And, one thing I think is important, I've always sought advice from good farmers. Dad said, if you want to do something, go to who's good at it and ask him how to do it, whether it's agronomy, whether it's changing the brakes on a semi, whether it's marketing. I've always tried to do that, and I've found that if you ask for advice, that people are really patient with you, and they always took time to explain things to me. And my main, I guess you would call them maybe mentors, of course, was my dad, and he was really involved in agronomy, farming efficiencies, anything that had to do with growing the crop. I could always rely on him. A gentleman from South Charleston, Warren Long, passed away at age 91 in 2011. And 2 months before he passed away, he told me, don't buy any new machinery. And I asked him why, and he says there's just too much of it. It's going to get to be worth less soon in the next few years, which was exactly right. So we followed his advice. He had a general farming knowledge with landlords and things like that. He was an important mentor, as well as Mark Guest, the first nominee. Mark, since I was 17 years old, has answered all my questions about marketing. He's an export grain marketer and using the futures and the basis. And to this day, I call him Mark, and he's always been very patient with me. Also, I think you need to have a relationship with peers, and I've always had peers that I could call anytime, any day, to discuss ideas and day-to-day concerns. And among these, my brother Dan. I didn't farm with my brother, but I always trusted him. He had a great business sense, or has a great business sense for land purchases and real estate. Charlie Neff from South Charleston, Lonnie and Larry Barkley, and Ronnie Guess from Jamestown, Mark and Connie's son that passed away in 2014. Ron and I talked about every day. And I think, as Mark said, conservation, tillage, and no-till have been instrumental to our success. Just the idea of having less machinery to do the job allowed us to invest in grain bins or drain tile or improvements. And I think that's been really important to us. And conservation tillage and no-till has helped us to lower our cost per bushel. And ultimately, that's made our farm much more profitable. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Alan. Can we have another round of applause for both our winners, Mark and Alan?
All right, we're another award, the Ohio Crop Advisor of the Year, and the past chair of the Ohio organization, Cynthia Lokai-Minnick, is going to make that presentation. Let's welcome Cynthia.
Thank you, Randall. It's been my honor to be able to present this award the last few years, and just the background on the award itself. The Ohio Certified Crop Advisor of the Year award was designed to recognize individuals who are highly motivated, deliver exceptional customer service for farmer clients in nutrient management, soil and water management, integrated pest management, and crop production, and have contributed substantially to the exchange of ideas and transfer that agronomic knowledge within the ag industry in Ohio. This year's winner has fulfilled all these requirements and has achieved excellence in all aspects. Because of his diligence in crop scouting, excellent customer service, creativity, and agronomic skills, as well as his interest in his clients, the 2017 CCA award was going to be presented to Tim Burning. Tim, are you in here? Oh. Tim, could you come up to the stage, please? Tim is an agronomist and a crop consultant for Precision Ag Services of Minster, Ohio. He has been a crop advisor for 32 years, and I'm not sure how many years as a CCA.
First year that it was offered, so I took the test.
23, 2,
25,
almost 25,
yeah.
24, 5. Over the years, Tim has shown his commitment to better the CCA with his numerous contributions to the CCA program. He was a past board member and chair of the Ohio CCA board. He is a member of the International Crop Advisory Board. He was a contributing member and is a contributing member to the Tri-State Exam Committee. Provided comments of support for the fertilizer certification legislation. Also a member of the Ohio Lake Area Phosphorus Task Force. His crop advising represents the right mixture of theory, practicality, while focusing on the process of crop production. Tim has the best interests of his clients in mind, providing recommendations that are both environmentally friendly and profitable for the client. Not only is he on all these other committees, but he's also very active in his community with his church and local zoning board, Lake Laramie Watershed Association, and the ODA Water Quality Working Group. On behalf of the Certified Crop Advisors and its members, I would like to thank the Ohio Ag Business Association, Ohio Farm Bureau Federation, and the Potash Corp, the PCS Sales, for their support in sponsoring this scholarship. Please join me in congratulating Tim Burning on receiving the award.
I used to be on the other side of handing out this award when I was the past chairman of the Ohio CCA board, so I'd like to thank everybody, whoever nominated me. And the other thing is, to you folks out there that happen to be CCAs, if you get the opportunity to be nominated to run for the board, please take it. It's been a wonderful experience, and over 7 years I spent on the board, met a lot of people and learned a lot of interesting things. So I'm just trying to give back to the community what the community has given to me. Thank you.